She lied, got pregnant by someone else, and expected me to raise the child, then played victim when I walked away. Hello Reddit I plus here. I met Cassandra at a volunteer event for a local food drive. She was charming, funny in a quiet sort of way, and had this magnetic presence that drew people in without her even trying. We started talking over paper cups of coffee, and I remember thinking how rare it was to find someone so genuine, or so I thought. Our relationship developed naturally. She wasn't flashy or attention-seeking. She made time for the little things, remembered my sister's name, brought soup when I was sick, even started getting close to my mom. We dated for a year before moving in together, and I was convinced I'd found the one. Things got serious fast. We talked about marriage, a house, and maybe kids, one day. I wasn't in a rush. I wanted to build a strong foundation first. She always nodded in agreement. Let's enjoy each other first, she used to say. Then she got pregnant. It caught me off guard. She said it was an accident, that the birth control must have failed. I was stunned, but not angry. Accidents happen. I believed in taking responsibility, so I told her I'd be there. I wasn't ready to be a father, but I loved her. I figured love would carry us through. She cried when I told her I was staying. Said she didn't expect me to take it so well. Now that I look back, that moment feels different, less like relief, more like guilt. The first crack appeared during a routine prenatal checkup. The doctor made a passing comment about how far along she was, further than what Cassandra had told me. At the time, I thought I'd misunderstood. Later, I tried to ask her, casually, when she found out. She got defensive, told me I was stressing her out, and accused me of not trusting her. I let it go. But the feeling wouldn't. Something wasn't right. I started noticing inconsistencies. She had passwords on everything. Her phone was always face down, and once, when I asked her how her day had gone, she said she'd been home resting, but her friend posted photos of them out for brunch that same afternoon. Still, I kept quiet. One night, when she was asleep, my guilt wrestled with my curiosity. I checked her phone. I hated myself for it. I really did, but what I found shattered everything I thought I knew. Messages, hundreds of them, with someone named Marcus. Photos, videos, conversations that made it clear. They had been sleeping together well into our relationship. One message stood out. He still doesn't know. I can't believe he thinks it's his. That was dated 2 weeks before she told me she was pregnant. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. I sat in my car for hours, trying to breathe, trying not to scream. The next morning, I packed a bag and left. I didn't argue, I didn't explain. I just walked away. Within hours, she blew up my phone. Calls, messages, voicemails. At first, she was apologetic, then angry. Then she flipped the script, told our friends I had abandoned her, that I couldn't handle being a man when things got serious. She cried to my mother, saying I left her pregnant and alone. Most people believed her. Some still do. I stayed silent. Not because I didn't have proof, but because I knew it wouldn't matter to the ones who already chose a side. Weeks later, Marcus showed up at my door. Not to apologize. No, he came to gloat. Said Cassandra told him everything. That she never really loved me, but thought I'd make a more stable father figure. He smirked as he said it, like he expected me to punch him. I didn't. I shut the door and never looked back. It's been a year. She had the baby. I hear she tells people I was the father who ran away. I also hear she and Marcus aren't together anymore. Apparently, reality hit hard when he realized fatherhood wasn't part of his plan either. I sometimes think about that life. The one I was ready to step into, built on a lie. I think about the child who's growing up in a mess not of their making. And I think about the man I might have become, resentful, broken, constantly questioning if the people I love are telling me the truth. I chose peace over chaos, truth over illusion, and most days, I sleep just fine. I thought walking away would be the end, but betrayal doesn't wrap itself up in a neat little bow. It bleeds into your life, into your sleep, into the quiet moments when you're brushing your teeth or making coffee, and suddenly you remember, I was building a future with someone who never planned to be honest with me. After I left, I moved in with a friend from college. His place was small, cramped, and smelled like gym socks and ramen noodles, but it felt safe. Cassandra didn't know where I was, and that distance became my only comfort. She kept reaching out, sometimes pleading, other times furious. You're abandoning your child, she wrote one night at 2:37 a.m., but I wasn't. I was walking away from a lie. I didn't answer her messages, not because I didn't have things to say, but because if I started, I didn't know where it would end. I knew she'd twist every word. She was good at that. I'd seen her manipulate people with a softness that felt like love. Still, I kept the screenshots. The messages between her and Marcus, the dated photos, the timestamps that made the truth undeniable. Not for revenge, but because part of me feared she'd come after me legally, claim child support, try to make the lie official. I booked a paternity test behind her back. I needed to be absolutely sure. The clinic swabbed my cheek, and 3 weeks later, I got the results. 0% probability of paternity. It should have felt like closure. Instead, it made everything worse, because deep down, I already knew, but seeing it printed out, my name in bold beside the words, excluded as biological father, was a punch I didn't expect to hurt so much. I wasn't mourning the child. I was mourning who I used to be before I loved her, before I made her my home. Then came the day she showed up at my work. I was standing in the break room when one of my co-workers whispered, "There's a woman out front asking for you." With a baby. I froze. I walked out, and there she was, Cassandra, holding a small pink-wrapped bundle in her arms. Her eyes were red. Her voice cracked when she said my name. I didn't know where else to go," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. People stared. I felt like a criminal on display. She tried to hand me the baby. "I can't do this alone anymore," she whispered, tears spilling. "You promised you'd be there." I stepped back. My heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. "This isn't my child," I said evenly, firmly. Her eyes narrowed. Her whole face shifted, like a mask sliding into place. "So that's it? You get to walk away? You get to pretend none of this happened?" "I'm not pretending," I said. "I'm finally seeing things for what they are." Security had to escort her out. She cried all the way to the door, and every co-worker's eyes followed me like I was the one who had done something unforgivable. That night, she posted about me on Facebook. He left me when I needed him most. When I was pregnant, scared, and alone. He said he loved me, but real love doesn't vanish the moment things get hard. Hundreds of likes. Dozens of sympathetic comments. No one knew the truth. I stayed silent. But truth has a strange way of creeping into the light. A few weeks later, Marcus's girlfriend, yes, he had one, reached out to me. Her name was Lee. She had seen Cassandra's post and recognized the name. "Are you the guy she's pretending is the baby's father?" she asked. That conversation opened everything. Lee told me Marcus had been cheating on her with Cassandra for almost a year. He'd gotten Cassandra pregnant, panicked, and blocked her. He told Lee everything only after Cassandra started threatening to expose him online if he didn't step up. So I gave Lee the screenshots I had. She gave me hers. And then the dominoes started to fall. Cassandra was suddenly silent online. Her posts vanished. The mutual friends who once glared at me in grocery stores stopped meeting my eyes. And one night, her mother, who I'd always liked, called me. She apologized. Said she had no idea what her daughter had done. That she believed her at first, but eventually too many things didn't add up. "She's not well," she admitted quietly. "She needs help, but she's never been willing to admit it." I didn't say much. I didn't know what to say. A few months later, I heard Cassandra had moved back in with her parents. She wasn't working. Marcus had completely disappeared. Her life, once so carefully curated, had fallen apart. Mine was slow to rebuild. I started therapy. I reconnected with old friends, real friends, ones who didn't buy into Cassandra's performance. I started dating again, cautiously. I kept walls up, maybe too high, but I learned how to trust myself again. I drive past the old apartment sometimes, the one we shared. It's strange how something that once felt like forever can become just another building on a street I no longer think about. I never saw the baby again, and yet, sometimes I think about her. Not with anger, just a kind of hollow sadness. That child deserved better. We both did. Betrayal changes you, not all at once, but slowly. It teaches you that love is not always safe, and some smiles hide sharp knives. But it also taught me this. Walking away doesn't make you the villain. Sometimes it makes you free.